It does seem that the honourable member is not in the chamber, and we will therefore proceed, Mr. President. Question number 4 has been asked by the Honourable Chabane. The question is about the current status of the process of the and cessation of hostilities in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. On the 8th of February this year, there was a joint summit between the heads of state of SADC and the East African Community in Dar es Salaam in Tanzania to deliberate on the security situation in the DRC. In that meeting, the joint summit directed the EAC and SADC Chiefs of Defense Force to meet and provide technical direction on, amongst other things, the immediate and unconditional ceasefire, as well as the cessation of hostilities, as well as the reopening of the Goma airport. An extraordinary summit of SADC heads of state and government of the Organ Troika met on the 6th of March to receive updates on the security situation in the East DRC. The SADC organ, as well as the defense chiefs responsible for promoting security in SADC, decided that we should continue with the process of ensuring that there is a ceasefire. Now, South Africa attended the summit as one of the troop contributing countries. Now, this troika, having deliberated on the report of the Defense Subcommittee, felt that we should make recommendations that will be put forward to the summit of the SADC heads of states to be convened soon this week. South Africa remains committed to working with fellow SADC countries to contribute to an inclusive as well as a negotiated settlement on the conflict in the DRC. In working together with the other countries, particularly through SADC, we are assured that the decisions that are taken and the initiatives that are taken to ensure that there is peace and there is a durable ceasefire in the DRC will enhance the proper cessation of hostilities. That will lead in the end, yes, to the withdrawal of the various troops that are from troop contributing countries, as peace will be installed in that part of the DRC. So at the next Heads of State meeting, we will be deliberating on the next steps that need to be taken in this regard. Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honourable President. I have been informed that the Honourable Mashlaule will take charge of the first question on behalf of Chabane in accordance with Rule 1.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Honourable President, on the 28th of February 2025, the UN Relief Coordinator's Office reported that the humanitarian situation continues to deteriorate as M23 rebels push deeper into the region, capturing key towns and displacing thousands of people. What is the impact of this advancement of the rebels into the region on the initiative of ceasefire and cessation of hostilities as decided by the SADC EAC summit?
The Honourable President.
The situation in the eastern DRC, particularly in Sake and Goma, continues to be precarious. And that is where our troops are located. And the situation is quite tenuous, but at the same time, the cessation of hostilities is holding. Now, through the various summits and meetings and discussions that we are holding from the chiefs of defense force to ministers to the heads of states. We are hoping to consolidate that and to halt any further movement by any of the armies that are surging forward. So right now, when there will be a meeting of SADC and thereafter followed up by a joint meeting of EAC and SADC, we are hoping that we will be able to have a more durable ceasefire that will lead to a permanent cessation of hostilities. The good thing is that meetings are now underway, and further meetings are being planned that will also involve the heads of states through the facilitation of those either former heads of states that have been identified or current heads of states. Those meetings are now going on, and they will go on, and they will have a positive bearing on what now needs to happen in the DRC going forward. We are bent on ensuring that peace is installed in the eastern DRC so that the displacement of people should also cease and the deaths of people should cease, and in the end, our troops should come back home. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker.
The second supplementary question will be asked by the Honorable Hatton.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, the President ordered our troops to deploy as the major component of the SAMI DRC mission in the DRC to support the armed forces of the DRC, the FADRC, to neutralize M23 and other negative groups. However, from the January the 23rd to the 25th, a major incident happened. Our troops, after fierce fighting, were neutralized by M23 and are encircled by M23 and without any logistical support whatsoever. They are at the mercy of M23. The FADRC abandoned us. The Malawian forces are withdrawing, and the Tanzanian forces, the other component of the SAMI DRC mission, is nowhere to be found. So, and may I add that any escalation in this stage in North Kivu...
Honourable Hatton, your time is running out.
Let me then put the question, Honourable President. When and how will our soldiers and secondly our main battle equipment be withdrawn from the DRC?
Thank you,
and is it not
Hatton,
time that the President, as the Commander-in-Chief, inform the nation about the truth about the situation of our troops in the DRC?
Hatton, your time has expired. The Honourable President.
From what I think I heard, as Honourable Hatting had run out of his time, information has been presented by our Minister of Defence on the situation of our troops. They are located in Sake and in Goma, and as I said, they are in quite a precarious situation right now. But as it is, the peace is holding. The troops, much as they are just located at the airport, they are not being fired on, and in Goma there is a sense of peace, and we want to consolidate that. And the discussions that are ongoing now are aimed at ensuring that we have a durable, as I said, a cessation of hostilities. Yes, facing all these challenges has meant that we have to be in discussion with the various other armies in the area, including the M23, about a variety of issues, including logistics, the movement, so for instance, of food, stuff, or food supplies, and indeed the provision of water and electricity. So all that has been happening on an interactive basis. And a piece that should now be fully consolidated is in the offing. And we are hopeful that once that has ensued, we'd get our troops back home as the other nations also yearn for the end of hostilities so that their own troops should go home. Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker.
The third supplementary, Honourable Manyi. Honourable President, you may take your seat, please. There is a point of order. Honourable Manyi.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy Speaker. Deputy Speaker, the point of order, or rather clarification, is on you. Whether will you give the other members the same dispensation of speaking past their time? Because the questioner had gone past his time and you were graceful to him. Will you be graceful to everyone? Thank you.
Yes, Honourable Manyi, I will try to be graceful when it is necessary and required. Honourable President, we will proceed. The third supplementary question will be asked by the Honourable Matiase.
Thank you so much, Deputy Speaker. Mr. President, the tragic resolution which gives chiefs and generals of the defense the authority to provide direction in the conflict in the Eastern DRC is an abdication of responsibility and surrendering political and diplomatic responsibilities of SADC heads of states to an unelected military officials. How is this resolution advancing the AU Agenda 2063, which commits to the silencing of guns and ending all wars, conflict, and prevent genocide by 2030? Mr. President, how do you intend to handle and deal with a belligerent, intransigent President Kagame, who openly challenged you to go into a battlefield and we seem not to be willing to go there, and yet you are still keeping our soldiers, sons and daughters in the battlefield? We want answers to these questions, Mr. President.
The Honourable President.
Thank you, Honourable Deputy Speaker. The matter of silencing the guns on the African continent is a matter that is being handled by the African Union. And as it is now, the conflict in the DRC is also being handled by the African Union. And in this regard, the chairperson of the African Union, who happens to be President Lorenzo of Angola, is also one of the key facilitators in ensuring that this conflict does come to an end. He, as the leader of the facilitators to bring this conflict to an end, continues to be preoccupied with how best he can bring together the warring parties, those countries that are involved, as well as those non-state actors that are involved in this conflict together. One of the things that we were able to succeed in doing in terms of the decisions that were taken by the heads of states is to say that this conflict in the end can only be resolved through negotiations and not on the field of battle. And that in the end, we should bring state actors as well as non-state actors together in a joint process of negotiation. That in itself has been a good outcome.